Good evening and welcome to Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV. I'm Tommy Chrysan and you are tuned in to Tigers Roar, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. 1 month ago today, back on December the 4th, when everybody found out there'd be a rematch, LSU and Alabama, and it's here now. We've been waiting. It will be Monday night in New Orleans in the Superdome. Hay's not all the way in the barn, but it's close. We got a great dynamite show for you tonight. Got some special announcements for you on some special things that are going on and some very important announcements. We're going to get extensively into LSU and Alabama and the matchup. We'll take our weekly run through the LSU athletic department, talk a little basketball for you. We're going to have Ronnie Rance of Sports Shores TV, of Sports Shores Radio join us. Hope to also be joined, time permitting, by Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. So we got a lot of stuff for you tonight. We're live every Wednesday night, Tigers Roar, 8 to 10 p.m. We ask you to spread the roar. If you're catching this program on a Thursday, a Friday, or a Saturday leading up to that game, you got a little replay going, but that's okay. We appreciate everything, and we do stream online at PelicanSportsTV.com. Again, I'm Tommy Chrysan of Pelican Sports TV, and it is my pleasure to introduce the co-host for tonight's program. It is Troy LaBeouf, sports director at KKAY 1590 AM radio in the greater Baton Rouge area down in Donaldsonville. Troy, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great, Tommy. Thanks for having me tonight.
I appreciate you taking the time to come out here. I mentioned it was 1 month ago when we found out for sure it would be LSU and Alabama after the BCS and all them people sorted everything out. Well, it's not quite here yet, but darn, it's close, and for Tigers Roar purposes, it's here.
No doubt about it, Tommy. They'll dissect it this week like no other. They've been talking about it, all the talking heads, the media. We've been talking about it on local sports talk radio. I can't wait. These two teams, they're so similar in so many ways, yet there's some things we can talk about tonight where LSU might have an advantage here, Alabama might have an advantage here. But again, I'm very happy to be here. And I'm all excited about what's going on.
And a little background on yourself. Again, Troy LaBeouf, sports director at KKAY 1590 AM. That's also available on the internet. We'll tell you about all that and through the TuneIn app on your smartphone. Tell us a little bit about you. You've been around sports all your life and radio all your life. Now you kind of, I don't know if you're good looking enough to be on TV with me, but give everybody, I know you've coached, give everybody a little background on Troy LaBeouf.
Yeah, I tell you what, I went to school at Ascension Catholic in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Didn't play any football, but I did play basketball, a sport that I love, and did some other little minor sports. But I had a passion. I wanted to be a coach. I knew that, and I went into high school coaching. I did it for about 8 years at the high school level. I coached at the junior high level in the little leagues and stuff as I was going through high school and even through college. Went through the high school level about 8 years. I was an athletic director at Ascension Catholic. Also coached at Donaldsonville High. Got an opportunity to coach guys like Jarvis Green and Howard Green and those guys who went on to play in the NFL. I left the high school coaching ranks around 2002. I went into a different line of work. That's when I was approached by Harry Harlett at KKY Radio in Donaldsonville, 1590 AM, where he wanted me to be able to broadcast the local high school games. And I had never broadcast before. I'd been around the radio station at a young age. My mom was a salesperson over there in the 80s when I was in my 10, 11, 12-year-old range. So I kind of knew what it was about a little bit. I really liked it. Started doing it in 2002, 2003, and here I am now as a sports director at KKY. Do a lot of high school football on Friday nights, do some radio with football, get to go on a lot of talk shows and get to talk about something that I'm passionate about.
And I know you have a beautiful wife and some young children, so something tells me you're going to be coaching Little League again.
Yeah, I'll be starting all over again. My wife, Ashley, is very supportive of what I do, and we have 3 boys, Jackson, Camille, and Harrison. And I tell you what, my boys are all my life, along with my wife and my family. But I got to tell you, man, we got some competition coming. My middle one, Camille Thomas LaBeouf, is going to be the next big sportscaster in this town.
All right.
He loves it.
Hey, we get him going on the Pelican, man. We need all the help we can get here.
He's only 4, but
That's
he knows
all right.
it already.
That's all right. We got to get all the help we can get. So, obviously LSU, Alabama, both teams arrived into New Orleans earlier today. Of course, Alabama flew in. Did you see the stuff? LSU had like 8 buses, 20 police escorts, helicopters flying over.
Helicopter escorts.
Helicopters showing a video of a bus going down a highway as LSU made their way from Baton Rouge into the Crescent City. Both teams are arrived now. Les Miles has met with the press, and that's when we're hoping to hook up with Brian Lazar in hour number 2 of our program tonight. He'll give you the very latest down there as LSU staying at the Hilton right down there on the riverfront, not far from the Dome, actually. So both teams are in town. Of course, the Sugar Bowl was played last night. Michigan gets the overtime victory with the field goal. But, you know, they had something else going on Saturday night, going to go on Saturday night that we weren't so sure about a couple of weeks ago. It's certainly not the day LSU-Alabama's game was set. New Orleans Saints will have a playoff game against the Detroit Lions, primetime Saturday night. I'm thinking the city's going to be a little crowded this weekend.
I would think about it. They got to love it, Tom, what's going on right now. I mean, you can go have a long, extended weekend. You catch the Sugar Bowl, you just stay down there. I know the hotels are reaping benefits, all the great places to eat in New Orleans. It is sports heaven right now in New Orleans. I'm not going to be there personally, but I'll certainly be watching, and I know you'll probably be down there personally.
No, I'm not going to. I'm as close as I want to be, right here in the cavernous studios of the Pelican here. And, of course, that gives me the time to tell you, immediately following the LSU-Alabama game, as we have done all season long since back on September 3rd when LSU played Oregon, we will have the 1150 WJBO Pelican Sports TV Phones First postgame show with Richard Condon and me, Tommy Chrysan. About 10:45, give or take a few minutes. As soon as that game clock says 000, it's Phones First, WJBO, 1150 a.m., and Pelican Sports TV, both streaming on the internet at WJBO.com and PelicanSportsTV.com. We'll have everything you need to know from that ball game. We'll have reports from people who are at the game. So please make note of that. Just like we did for the previous 13 games, we will be here. It'll be me and Richard Condon taking your calls, Phones First. So don't forget that as well. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to take you back to LSU's preseason media day, August 10th or 11th, whenever it was. And we're going to get comments from Coach Miles and the players about team expectations, quarterback predictions, defense expectations, and special teams. And now we're going to remind you, this is going to be stuff that was said in August. And I have not looked at this yet today. Troy, Chris and our staff, Nick and Marty and all these guys put it together today. But I'm real curious to see what they said in August and how correct it reads as we sit here in January, 5 days away from BCS national championship game. And as I said, we'll talk about Alabama, their key players. Again, I don't know what we can say that hasn't been said. We'll also talk, Troy and I'll mix it up a little bit about Les Miles and Nick Saban and what we each think of those two coaches. We'll both offer our keys to the game. I've even got a prediction. I got to go with it because I was on radio in Fort Walton Beach, Florida today, like I am every Wednesday afternoon, and they pinned me down for a score.
Right.
So I'll tease you folks watching Tigers Roar, unless you're in the Panhandle watching this tonight, and I'll have that for you later. It might surprise some people what I'm going to say. So a lot of fun on the program tonight, and when we come back, we're going to have a couple of special announcements for you, one involving Pelican Sports Radio, and then some other things that are happening that you sports fans definitely want to know about, and we're definitely going to ask you to help spread the word. We're going to count on you, the sports fans, the people who enjoy watching us, the people who enjoy listening to us and talking about whatever we talk about, and we enjoy you talking. We're going to ask all you sports fans out there to help us get a few things accomplished in the course of the coming weeks and months, etc. So we've got Troy LaBeouf, the sports director of KKAY 1590 AM Radio. I'm Tommy Chrysan of Pelican Sports TV. You're watching Tigers Roar. Spread the roar. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans, and on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. We'll come back with more right after this pause. Stay with us. Big announcement coming up.
Hi, I'm attorney Kerry Bryson. My law firm focuses specifically on helping people try to solve their IRS tax problems. Lately, so many new out-of-state companies are popping up claiming that if you send them money, they can resolve your IRS problems. Well, what happens if they don't? Do you hire an attorney? Maybe you should start with a local attorney that's already handled hundreds of IRS cases right here in Louisiana. When you hire the Bryson Law Firm, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some out-of-town high-pressure salesman. You'll meet with us in person at our office right here in Baton Rouge. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and we'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it'll cost. So if you're hiring a company to resolve your IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, check their reputation first. then call me, Kerry Bryson, or go to brysonlawfirm.com. If you're a Louisiana resident and you have an IRS problem, hire a Louisiana attorney, Kerry Bryson.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a formal affair.
Come see the many great lines we carry in bridal, bridesmaids, mothers, flower girls, tuxes, and more. We also carry over 25 top designer lines in debutante gowns, Mardi Gras, pageant, and prom. Come meet me and my staff with over 30 years of bridal and pageant experience. Debbie's Bridal, a formal affair, Burnside and Gonzales, where service matters.
The family dental practice of Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr. and our highly trained staff are dedicated to providing care and treatment to our patients of all ages in all aspects of dental care. 23 years of experience and advanced training in cosmetic and restorative dentistry, TMJ, and treatment of snoring and sleep apnea allows Dr. Fruget to assist you in achieving the best in dental health. Call us today at 292-9700 to schedule your initial evaluation, because we know how to make you smile.
We continue with Tigers Roar here. Spread the roar. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. Streaming on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Don't forget, this program is year-round, live on a Wednesday night, 8 to 10 p.m. If you're catching us on a rebroadcast on Thursday, Friday on WHNO-TV in New Orleans, which covers the North Shore, Bayou Country, and the Mississippi Gulf Coast, or Saturday, you got a replay going, but we'll get you set for this LSU-Alabama matchup on Monday. And, of course, next Wednesday night on Tigers Roar, we'll be able to recap whatever, in fact, has happened. So before we get into some information about LSU and Alabama, and again, both teams arrived in New Orleans today. Within LSU about 2.5 hours ago, Alabama about 3.5 hours ago. As I mentioned, we're sitting here with Troy LaBeouf, sports director at KKAY 1590 AM radio, based in Donaldsonville. And I'm seeing that we got to tell you that Joe Johnson is back in town to give you the best deals on used cars. He's now open. Look for Joe at the North American Automotive Group, just north of Snow's Seafood on Airline Highway, the old Cars 3 place, 13557 Airline Highway in Gonzales. Joe Johnson's ready to make you a deal. North American Automotive Group. He is now open, and he's got deals for you. I passed a lot the other day. Plenty of vehicles on it. So that's Joe Johnson back in town. Get with Joe at your next chance. So, hey, radio, live TV, live radio, you always got to be ready to adjust on the fly. So we helped out Joe Johnson there. But anyway, the first special announcement I'd like to make on behalf of Pelican Broadcasting and Pelican Sports Radio and myself, Tommy Chrysan, and everybody involved with Pelican Sports Radio, that as many of you know, the Baton Rouge sports radio market kind of made a big change when the clock struck midnight to 2012 the other night, and everybody's been reeling, and there's been more phone calls made in a couple of days and emails and text messages than the law would probably allow. But it's my pleasure, on behalf of Pelican Sports Radio and Pelican Sports TV, to announce that Pelican Sports Radio has found a home. We have landed at KKAY 1590 AM on the radio, Monday through Friday, same time slot, 3 to 4 p.m. We will start next Monday, January 9th, the day of the BCS championship game. It'll always be known that we started on the day that the BCS championship game was going. So I need you people to help spread the word. Go to our Facebook page, Pelican Broadcasting. Between now and Monday, we'll be bombing that thing with announcements about this, how you can get it on the internet, how you can get it on your smartphone, all that good stuff. So Pelican Sports Radio has landed. I want to thank Troy LaBeouf and Harry at the KKAY and for getting Pelican Sports Radio on board. Deal literally done less than 30 minutes ago. That's the honest truth about it. And we're happy and excited and looking forward to mixing it up and having our fun on Pelican Sports Radio, 3 to 4 Monday through Fridays, KKAY 1590 AM. And thank you, Troy.
No problem. Pleasure to have y'all. I mean, you guys do some great work with Pelican Broadcasting. We're so excited. You and I talked about it 2 or 3 days ago. It took a little bit of time. We got it done literally right before the show started.
Well, and I also want to mention some of my colleagues. All of us in the sports radio and sports TV business, I think Jacques Doucette of WAFB said it well on Facebook a couple of days ago. We've all worked together in some way, shape, or form at some point in time. We've crossed paths, and we share a passion for what we do. And also on KKAY, Jordy Hultberg will be on that same station from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
That's correct.
With Jordy's show that he has had on for a long, long time. Also, Chad Bluen, who's a part of Sports Shorts TV and Sports Shorts Radio, is already in place 9 to 11. Then Buddy Sanji. Buddy's probably got the longest tenure of all of us radio guys in this market. Buddy will be on starting tomorrow, Thursday, January 5. Buddy will be starting. You guys got a replay. He may have already started. But Thursday the 5th from 1 to 3 p.m. Buddy
Correct.
Sanji with his show. Again, that's 20-plus years on the radio. And then you got Pelican Sports Radio from 3 to 4. So the folks at KKAY are jumping right in there and providing quality and quantity in sports radio.
You know, you're right. You know, we really put this lineup together. It happened in a matter of 3 days. It took some time, a lot of talk. Harry Harley and Bridget Harley over, you know, our general manager and our vice president, both very supportive of what I was trying to do and talking to all the great sports hosts that I've listened to a long time in the Baton Rouge area. I think I've had an opportunity to be on just about everybody's show for one time or another, whether it be a segment or host or what have you. And it was a no-brainer. You know, one man's loss is another man's treasure, and we certainly could. We're certainly very happy at KKY 1590 AM, and we want everybody to listen because these guys know what they're talking about. They're going to let the callers express themselves, and we're turning the ropes over to them. We're turning the wheel. They run their shows, and if anybody has any comments, questions, the number is 225-473-5764.
And again, from Jordy Hultberg to Chad Bluen to Buddy Sanji and myself with Pelican Sports Radio and all the other people that all of us will collectively bring there, it's going to be the place to be. And again, it's on the radio at 1590 AM. We're going to get you all the internet information, all the smartphone information, which is tunein.com. That's a free app. TuneIn, T-U-N-E-I-N. Free app. I've already put it on my BlackBerry. You can get it on your smartphone, your Windows phone. It's all there. The iPhone, obviously, your iTouch, your iPod. You know, it's there, and on the internet. So we feel we can still get to you. Go to our Facebook page, Pelican Broadcasting, because in the coming days we will be promoting the heck out of all of this and ways for you to communicate with us, and the website, and that you can listen to this program on the smartphones. Go to our Facebook page. Go to our YouTube page. Our Twitter account is at Pelican Sports. You know, we're in the social media. We're going to be able to keep up with you. And Troy, on behalf of everybody at Pelican Broadcasting, and we have a large team and a large group here, like y'all, locally owned. We're locally owned. We look forward to a great partnership.
No, we do as well, TK. I tell you, we're so excited about it when we had this opportunity to lead off with a guy like Jordy Hultberg, to be followed with a guy that you know very well, and Chad Bluen, that does some great TV work as well. And then you add a guy that's a veteran of radio along with yourself and Buddy Sanji. Buddy Sanji lead into your show, you know, the Pelican Broadcasting, and you've been around, you've done this a long time. You've got experience, and I know you guys will all do a fantastic job. I know you're going to bring some great guests on, too, to give insight. It's not just the host insight, it's some great guests as well. And
we have an email address, okay? If all this stuff is running together and cramming in your head and you don't have a piece of paper to write it down on, you can fire an email to pelicanbroadcasting@gmail.com. The address is on your screen there. Shoot an email in. I'll get it to the necessary people, get you the necessary answer, how you can listen to those radio programs on the internet, how you can get it onto your smartphone. We got some other things we're going to develop. It's going to be a growing process and partnership. We're going to have plenty of improvements and ways for you to get a hold of KKAY, the sports lineup that they have, among the other things that they've got, and Pelican Sports TV. It's going to be a lot of fun, going to be a lot of stuff. So shoot that email, and I promise you you'll get a response to whatever question or comment that you do have. When we come back here on Tigers Roar, we're going to flash back to the LSU preseason media day and get some comments that were made before the very first game against Oregon was played, and we're going to see how those comments pan out, how correct or incorrect they may have been, how good of a forecast it might have been, as we sit here with LSU being 13-0, Southeastern Conference champs, ranked #1 in every possible poll you can find, and playing the Alabama Crimson Tide Monday night in the Superdome in New Orleans for the BCS National Championship. I've got Troy LaBeouf of KKAY 1590 AM Radio. I'm Tommy Krysan of Pelican Sports TV. Spread the roar. You're watching Tigers Roar right here in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans on Pelican Sports TV and PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Horn, and you're watching Pelican Sports TV.
BetterBatonRougeJobs.com has been extremely beneficial for the TM Automotive Group. And what stands out to us, it's easy to use, not only for us, but it's easy for the applicants. And it's the quality of applicants that we get. It's timely. We post something in the morning. By that afternoon, we have double-digit applicants. And again, it's the quality of the applicants.
Employers, now is a great time to hire, recruit, and look for potential new employees.
BetterBatonRougeJobs.com. It's free for job seekers and great for business.
You're on the same flight.
We'll be on the same flight.
Yeah, when we need to work. Anything together? Do we know that?
Got it.
Thanks, Dave.
The big, brilliant, thin Samsung Infuse 4G. Only from the network of possibilities, AT&T.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
40 years, 4 decades, nearly half a century. That's how long the citizens of Greater Baton Rouge have chosen Richards Honda. A simple, sincere, and honest process.
Louisiana's oldest and most experienced Honda dealership for over 40 years, Richards Honda.
We continue with Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV. Troy LaBeouf, Tommy Chrysan with you. And what we're going to do now is we thought this would be interesting. It was actually the idea of our producer, Chris Lecoq, executive producer or head producer or producer extraordinaire. So what he has done, of course, we were at Media Day back in August, the Pelican Sports TV crew was. Well, we've got some footage for you. Keep in mind, this is all, and this whole segment's all going to be footage and comments from back in August when the Tigers were 0-0, not 13-0. So here now is some team expectations. This is the first clip for you. Again, this was filmed and captured in August before the season. Enjoy.
Again, 5 days in, you know, we've improved, but we've not yet caught the speed that we need to catch. We're sloppy as we can be, and we're working to offset those beginning of camp issues to get to operating much faster, more efficiently, and cleaner. That leadership really starts to unfold in a very difficult grind of two-a-days, and it's one that I think, you know, it's really progressed to this point through summer, and you know the view of it being their team more. I think that's come, but the heat of two-a-day practice and the everyday consistency, you know, that's yet to come. But I like the leadership of this team. I'm certain that they will step forward. We'll have a quick meeting today on leadership, and it'll be you know, I can't imagine it being anything but a real strong start to the season.
Got a lot of hard work to do before we're ready to play, and that's what fall practice is all about. You know, getting yourself ready to play. As I said, we're in great shape right now. We got to go out and do the work on the field. It's the quality work that's going to get us ready, and we're getting that every day from our offense. We're being challenged every single day from our offense. So it's a fun fall in terms of this kind of preparation.
I'm competing every day. I'm growing every day. I'm getting better every day as a whole and as a unit. I'm picking up things from the other receivers. I mean, I feel like I'm getting better at my routes and all that type of stuff. My hands are getting stronger.
I get the chills thinking about it every night. I just can't wait for this season to get away. And, you know, I'm real anxious.
Quarterback is all about footwork and small mechanical things, so he really emphasized that to us, you know, every day of practice. You know, we're looking at our feet every time. We can really figure out what kind of ball we threw, you know, mainly looking at our feet. So that's what our main focus is, and by the time the season comes, you know, our footwork should not be an issue for us. So that's, you know, what his mindset is, and that's what we have been focusing on ever since the spring. So right now, you know, we just getting a lot of repetition with it, really paying attention to it. So when the season comes, it should be nature.
Seems like a long time since the spring. And we're excited to get back out there with those guys and get back with some of the newcomers that we got in. Practice has been going well. We got 5 of them in and getting ready to get the pads on yesterday, so we'll be doing a lot more hitting and contact and getting a better chance to evaluate what's going on and get guys in the right position. And we're just excited about the first game. To start the season like that, it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us, and we're preparing for it. So,
I look at it a little bit like NASCAR. NASCAR starts off with their biggest race of the year at Daytona, and certainly, when you look at our schedule, they're all big, but this is certainly a big game. But you know what? As you go through the SEC, every single one of them will be that way.
All right, we continue with Tigers Roy. A little bit of comments there. Again, that came from August. The next thing we're going to hear about, Troy, is the quarterback position. Now, okay, we've both been around a long time. Yeah, me, I'm a little longer than you. I'm going to give you that one, okay? Everybody knows that. I didn't have to tell them that. But as long as I can remember, the quarterback position at LSU gets discussed. I mean, I can go back as a young kid when Burt Jones, who became an All-American and an All-Pro, rotated with Paul Lyons. So, I mean, it goes a long way back, and then you carry that forward with, with Ensminger and Woodley and Risher and Wickersham and Hodson and Guidry. I mean, the list goes on and on. But that position is always going to get talked about, good and bad, and certainly before this season, there was a lot of talk.
No doubt about it. I mean, now you're going to add Jordan Jefferson and Jared Lee to it now because you had a situation where Jared Lee had a great opportunity, albeit because of a bad situation that happened to JJ in the beginning of the season that he was a part of, and Jared Lee took advantage of it. He played well through the first 8 games of the season, and albeit it came to the Alabama game when things kind of unraveled a little bit.
Well, and again, the comments we're going to watch in a little bit occurred before the incident at the nightclub in Baton Rouge, and everybody knows the story of what happened there, the suspension, and the court stuff and the trials and the shoes. I mean, we remember the whole story. But fortunately, it didn't distract. When you think about it now, Troy, if I would have told you on August 1st that, hey, in a couple of weeks there's going to be a big bar fight and curfew's going to get broke, we're going to have arrests made, we're going to have indictments handed down, and it's going to involve Jordan Jefferson, do you think we'd be sitting here talking on January 4th that they 13-0?
Absolutely not. I mean, you add the Russell Shepard situation in there with the housing, the coaching situation too, what happened, with the potential offensive coordinator. So, no, I really think that I would have told you that would have been a recipe for disaster. But somehow Coach Miles kept everything together along with his staff.
He deserves some credit.
He does.
And then you throw in, he lost his sister in an automobile accident. You throw in all the Willie Lyles stuff and stuff that happened in the spring after the big win over A&M in the Cotton Bowl. I mean, it just, and then, Coach Craig Thorpe with the diagnosis of the Parkinson's disease. I mean, and then there's probably a lot of things we didn't hear about that they had to deal with.
Yeah, they lose the Ross.
Little of this, little of that, And
they lose the Rossick, one of their best linemen from last year.
And you know what? You got to give credit to Les Miles and his staff. He's been maligned in his career at LSU, the clock things and a couple of other things. But bottom line, he's arguably the best coach in LSU football history. I know Charlie McClendon and Bernie Moore have more wins as a coach, but they don't have the skins on the wall that he has, and he may very well have another one Monday night, which would clearly put him ahead of them, even though they would be still ahead of him in number of wins. But if he stays here 10 more years, he'll pass them up anyway. But here's some comments. Again, keep in mind these comments came from Media Day about August 10th, earlier in the season, before the Shady's Bar incident and anything else that transpired after August. But thought you would enjoy the quarterback comments about the season.
I think the offense is I think we're coming to age there in the things that we want to do.
I would describe it as a group that's going to attack and be very physical. That's what I want to be, and it's as best as I can describe it. I don't know about style or any kind of those things. I'm not very much of a style guy, absolutely. But we're going to be enthusiastic. All right, we're going to hustle. We're going to run around. We're going to fly around. I want to be physical and win the line of scrimmage, and I like to make big plays. I like to put our kids in a position to, like you said, Ruben. Go, Ruben, here's 3 ways we got you to get the ball. Go make a play. All right, Jordan, here's 3 ways you got the thing. Let's go make a play. All right, those young wide receivers we got, Boones and Fobbs and Wright and the young kids in this freshman class. Those guys, go get those kids a chance to make plays. So we are going to be aggressive and attacking and come after you and come after you and come after you. That's what I want to be like. I don't want to be passive. So if you ask me, that's what I would say. We're going to go be aggressive, attacking, and a physical bunch from wide receiver blocking on the perimeter to running backs and pass protection to offensive line when it's fourth and you need that much. Those kind of things. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be known as a physical group that attacks you.
We got a little more faster tempo, I think, going this year. We've really stressed upon that, being a little faster tempo, getting a little more plays in than we did last year, these last couple of years. So we're looking forward to it. We've done a great job these last few days in camp, and we're excited about this season.
Reading the defense a little quicker. One thing our defense does, which I'm getting a great look at right now, is when I come off the ball, well, before I come off the ball, they might be in one set, but then when I take a couple of steps, they might roll into something else. So just understanding a defense and understanding what I have once they rotate, understanding my blocking assignment, understanding attention to details on my route.
I was a young receiver not too long ago, and I know how these guys feel at a certain point in time, and I feel like it's my job, to let them know that, just go out and make plays, do what you do. It's not really pressure on you. It's, you've been playing football pretty much all your life. It's just go out there and make plays, show coach that you know your assignment, play confident, play fast, and, everything else will take care of itself.
It keeps us all over that edge because, you never know, because our backfield unit is so strong from all angles, and there's no time to take plays off. You can't take no plays off in the game, so every practice is really like a game.
It does feel good. Like I say, man, it's a good group of us. We all have a lot of camaraderie, and the beauty of this group is the depth, because we can all take something from each other and learn from it.
My last 4 games that I played, I threw 800 yards. So the back half of the season is where I feel that I should be playing the whole season, and that's what I'm really focusing on this year, is really playing consistent and play how I played in the Texas A&M game, every game.
We have a game plan, we put the game plan on paper, and then it's the play caller's responsibility to call that play at that time. So if I feel that play needs to be called, it's something we've practiced, we've worked on, here's a situation to call it, absolutely, that's what I'm going to call. And like I said, I'm going to call those things with all the confidence of the preparation we've had that week, what we've done, that we're ready to go, that we can execute it. And if I'm confident in all those things, I'll call that play. And I'll be ready to call that play in that situation because we're prepared to do so.
Again, those comments coming from August, right prior to the nightclub incident or whatever. Troy, I think it's safe to say, obvious to say, that both of these quarterbacks have played a key role in the fact that LSU is 13-0 this coming, right now, and looking for win number 14 Monday night in New Orleans. But, it got talked about, especially, when Jefferson went in for the quarterback sneak against Kentucky to score. And then, in the Alabama game, Lee throws a couple of INTs, and then he's out of there, and Jefferson, and the team wins. And Jefferson's pretty much been the guy since then. But both, I think Les Miles was smart enough to know he needed both guys. And you can call it lucky if you want, but I'd rather be lucky than good some days. It has worked out extremely well, obviously because they're 13-0, but it could have been a fragile situation.
Absolutely. If you fail a plan, you plan to fail, because he had a plan, what he wanted to do with Jordan Jefferson after he came back off of the suspension. Albeit he brought him in to score the first time he touched the football, and a lot of people in outrage about it. I certainly had some mixed emotions about it, but I trusted that Coach Miles would make the right decision in bringing J.J. along. J.J. made some comments along the way that he felt like he wanted to regain his starting position as he had the last 3 years at LSU. I feel like the guy has matured. Give credit to Jared Lee, Tommy, because I think he kept this thing together when it could have really fell apart offensively. I was watching the comments from Coach Stud. They wanted to be a physical football team. There's no question. Their offensive line, Coach Miles was smart enough not to make the comments that this was his best offensive line ever. This might have been his best offensive line, right, give or take maybe another unit here or there. He's had some good ones. But overall, You know, they stayed away from injuries for the most part, and they were a physical football team.
When we come back, we're going to talk about, you're going to get a look at some more flashback. We're going to flash back to some preseason comments about the defense and the special teams as we flash back, as we get you ready for LSU-Alabama on Monday night down in New Orleans. Of course, the Saints play the Lions on Saturday. Going to be a wild and crazy weekend in the city. We know we have a lot of folks in the greater New Orleans area and on the North Shore and Terrebonne, Lafourche Parish that watch this program. And for those of you going, good luck, be careful, be smart. Of course, I'll be doing the post-game show with Richard Condon, the 1150 WJBO Pelican Sports TV post-game show. We'll do it live from the studios immediately following that game. So looking forward to that. Troy LaBeouf, Tommy Krysan, when we come back, some more flashback comments. These will be about defense and special teams. When we return, keep it here. You're watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans.
Hi, I'm Troy Landry. You're watching Pelican Sport TV. I'm fixing to shoot him. Shoot him.
Key attributes that really puts Papa John's Pizza over the top is our meats. Nobody does what Papa John's does.
For just $11, get our new double-layered premium pepperoni pizza, loaded with a layer of our signature pepperoni, plus a layer of oversized deli-style pepperoni. Just $11 for a large. Plus, get double points all weekend long and earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards, only at papajohns.com. Sign up now.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Explore the charms of the North Shore and visit St. Tammany Parish. Whether you're looking for a cultural experience or an adventure, you'll find it here. Enjoy great attractions and fantastic dining in a relaxed and friendly atmosphere.
Come visit us and discover the history and heritage that is Louisiana's North Shore.
For more information, log on to louisiananorthshore.com/bb.
Hi, I'm attorney Kerry Bryson. My law firm focuses specifically on helping people try to solve their IRS tax problems. Lately, so many new out-of-state companies are popping up claiming that if you send them money, they can resolve your IRS problems. Well, what happens if they don't? Do you hire an attorney? Maybe you should start with a local attorney that's already handled hundreds of IRS cases right here in Louisiana. When you hire the Bryson Law Firm, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some out-of-town high-pressure salesman. You'll meet with us in person at our office right here in Baton Rouge. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and we'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it'll cost. So if you're hiring a company to resolve your IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, check their reputation first, then call me, Kerry Bryson, or go to brysonlawfirm.com. If you're a Louisiana resident and you have an IRS problem, hire a Louisiana attorney, Kerry Bryson.
We continue with Tigers Roar live on a Wednesday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Appreciate you being there. We're glad to be here, glad to have you there. If you're catching this Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, you got a little replay going. Special announcement, I want to repeat that real quick. Pelican Sports Radio has landed. Let's mix it up. Every Monday through Friday, 3 to 4 p.m., same times, except we'll now be on KKAY 1590 AM, 3 to 4. We're looking forward to it. You will be able to get it on the internet, on your smartphones. We're going to get all that information to you. Go to our Facebook page, Pelican Broadcast, and we're promoting the heck out of that. We'll start Monday, January 9th. Might be somewhat of a pregame show, but we'll have it for you. And then, of course, joining Pelican Sports Radio and me, Tommy Krysan, on KKAY, Jordy Hultberg in the mornings, 7 to 9. Chad Bluen's already been there, but he's there 9 to 11. Buddy Sanji, yeah, old spicy buddy, he'll be there from 1 to 3, all on 1590 AM. And we really ask you to help us out. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your family members, tell everybody that the internet, the smartphones, the app, the whole bit, that's where you're going to go for one heck of a great sports lineup Monday through Fridays. They've got some weekend stuff, and we're going to let you know a whole lot more about KKAY as we go forward as well here on Pelican Sports TV. Back to the flashback preseason media day comments. Let's talk, get some comments, again, made in August at the preseason media day out on the campus of LSU about the defense and what they were looking forward to. Defense, a key reason, if not the key reason why LSU's 13-0. Here are comments from August about what they expected.
guys are excited about preparing for this schedule. And during 2 days and the preseason, that's what we're doing. We're preparing for the entire schedule. There's some things that we'll be doing, as we get a little closer, and we've already started on some things for Oregon, but we're preparing for the whole season, and that's what we've got to be concerned with right now is getting LSU ready to go play a long, demanding schedule. And certainly it's one that we're excited about, look forward to, and it's a great feeling knowing that every time we step on that field that we have an opportunity, if we play up to the level that we're capable of, that we're going to win the football game. And that's what we got to go do. Every single week, we can't make mistakes. We look back, and during the off season, we talk about studies and ways that we can improve. And one of the things that we've got to do is eliminate some mistakes. We look at our progress from the first year to last year, and certainly from a stat standpoint, we were better in a lot of areas, and certainly that's encouraging, but we're not satisfied by any stretch of the imagination. We got room to improve. We certainly expect to be better. We're going to work to be better, and that's why we're excited, because we got great athletes that give us that opportunity to go win.
Defense, John Chavis is a wonderful advantage for me. I turn to him many ways and ask for his opinion and how we do things, and he's one of the best in the business and is doing a great job. And
the coaching staff and I represent the defensive side of the football. Andre Haley has done a fine job with our defensive line. We're going to have a lot of skill back. We're excited about that. Ron Cooper has done a tremendous job with the secondary, and certainly we had a chance to see what some of that young talent was like, particularly in the Cotton Bowl. The thing that you want to hear about is not as much the coaches, but our football team. And that's the thing that you should be writing about, obviously, because I think we have some outstanding talent. Certainly, there's some people to replace. You lose 2 tackles off your starting defense, the center of your defense. You lose your middle linebacker. You lose a corner that was an outstanding player, probably one of the, not probably, there's no doubt in my mind, the best defensive player in the country last year. There's no question about that. And what that does is that creates opportunities for other guys to make their mark in LSU football. The thing that they say, and it's so true, tradition doesn't graduate. We have players that graduate, they go on to the NFL, and I think those guys that I'm talking about, I'll be shocked if they're all not on an NFL roster and probably starting at the same time. They were good quality young men. They did a great job for us, but now it's time for a different era, and it's time for some guys to step forward.
Coach Chavis said it was time for some guys to step forward. I think a bunch of guys on the defensive end step forward. Troy LeBeouf, your read on just how much, obviously they played a key role in being 13-0, but the number of guys and the talent and depth on this defense is incredible.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think it starts up front, obviously. Did anybody think Benny Logan was going to be the force he was this year? You read all the different publications. His name wasn't there other than the fact that he had very little experience, but I think he put in some great off-season work. He was a force for him. Linebacker position, I know a lot of people talked about it not being that great early in the season. I think it matured. Ryan Baker got better as the season went along. We had such high expectations of Baker. Taj Jones out of Sulphur, Louisiana, really came on late in the season, number 58. He played well. And obviously, when you got 2 All-American cornerbacks with the Honey Badger, Mo Claiborne, we all thought he was going to be an All-American. Eric Reed, and an unsung hero of this team, obviously, to me, is Taylor at the safety position. You can't forget Sam Montgomery up front as well.
I like Kiki Mingo, and I've said it all fall, Troy, on Pelican Sports Radio and here on Tigers Roar. Keep a copy of this year's team picture, okay? And in about 3-4 years from now, go back and circle all the guys who are going to, get into an NFL camp, number 1, and get an opportunity. And then 2, how many guys will play in the NFL, even for a short period of time. This year's team picture, I don't think you're going to find another LSU team picture in history that's going to send as many guys to the NFL. Keeping in mind, I don't mean just the guys that will go next year, be it Mo Claiborne, the underclassmen, or be it some of the seniors. I'm talking about the whole team. I guess you'd have to wait 4 or 5 years to take a true measurement. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be able to have an NFL hat to wear.
I would agree with that. You're definitely going to have a first round in Mo Claiborne. Who knows what Ruben Randall's going to do as a junior. He could maybe slip in there if he decides to go out. A lot of scuttlebutt about Sam Montgomery and Brockers. Who knows what those guys are going to do? Maybe if they get their ring, they may decide they're both redshirt sophomores, so they can take that opportunity to go as a sophomore. So yeah, I would agree with that. You're loaded with talent. Coach Chavis doesn't hide the fact that this team is loaded with talent. Everybody was given some opportunities. You know, people wondered, well, what happened when you lose the 3 mainstays from last year, you know, with Peterson leading the way, who's had a great NFL season.
He's going to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he's going to the Pro Bowl to represent the NFC. But Kelvin Shepard, the linebacker position, I don't know if he was exactly replaced Kelvin Shepard, but I think leadership-wise, he was so big last year. But I think everybody's kind of stepped up this year to be leaders for this football team. I don't think you can point to one guy.
Our final segment on the flashback back to the preseason media day. Of course, special teams were another huge key for this LSU football team. Brad Wing ended up being an All-American. Nobody saw that coming. You know, Drew Alamont missed his first extra point, a field goal against Oregon. Hasn't missed since, basically. But again, our flashback part of tonight's show, these are preseason comments made about the special teams and what was expected out of them going forward into this, to date, 13-0 perfect season.
This fall, in special teams, we said goodbye to Jasper, but Drew Almond is, in my opinion, having a nice start to a fall. His field goals, it'd be a little premature to say that he's going to be as good as Jasper, but I think he's going to have a very, very good year, and I think that he will and did compete with Josh and understands what it takes, both at the kickoff and the field goal extra point. Brad Wing, James Hairston, it'll be the punters of note, and along with DJ Howard, who's, in my opinion, a guy that's really busted his behind this summer to go in there and compete. So I like us. I think we'll be 40 yards, good hang time, and a very, very fast coverage unit underneath that.
Again, little did he know Brad Wing would be an All-American. Some incredible punts, including he uncorked one against Alabama, and then of course got a lot of notoriety on that penalty on the fake punt against Florida, which we could sit here all night and decide whether that should have been a penalty. But
he had a YouTube video come out.
Yeah, so I mean, here you see him, another punt inside the 5. I mean, the guy was just unbelievable. The freshman from Parkview Baptist here in Baton Rouge, you cannot understate how important he and all the special teams, the coverage units and the return units, were in the success of this LSU team. It played a significant role.
It did. A guy that's never mentioned because he doesn't make mistakes is Joey Crapel. The long snapper. He gets it done. The ball is right exactly where Wing wants it, and then he does it. He wings it, if you will, and what he can do with that football is just amazing. He can place it just about anywhere. I don't think you can count on one hand that bad punts this year that he's had. I think they ended the season with plus 6 yards given up total for returns on the punts.
Well, and another thing that came out of the special teams that I don't know if anybody didn't see it coming, certainly not to the degree it did, but what Tyrann Mathieu did with the returns and then a 5th in the Heisman balloting, in spite of a little suspension in the middle of the year. But the things that Tyrann Mathieu did and the way he changed momentum in several games. We had the big long kickoff return by Mo Claiborne against West Virginia. I mean, the entire special, a lot of times when people say special teams, you think of the punter and the place kicker, or maybe just the place kicker, because he might kick a game-winning field goal, as Drew Alamond did against Bama in overtime in November. But the return game and the stuff Tyrann Mathieu did, I mean, this guy, he's in the conversation next year when talking about the Heisman Trophy.
There's no doubt about it, Tommy. You look at a guy that really wasn't even the main punt returner when the season started. Odell Beckham fielded a lot of punts because he can do one good, he can catch the football, and they were going to secure the football. But what Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, did when he started getting into the mix, he changed field position just about every single time. He was a catalyst against Arkansas. He was a catalyst against Georgia in games that LSU started. It got behind really for the first time other than the Oregon game earlier in the season. They had led throughout the whole season. So it's just amazing what the young man can do, just being so much instinct not only returning the football, but what he did defensively just to be around the football and get the, you know, the scoop and scores.
All right, so the special teams was there. Now LSU's 13-0. Again, you get a look at the Claiborne run back against West Virginia. They'll play Monday night against Alabama for the national championship, the BCS national championship. We still got plenty of stuff to talk to you about tonight. We're going to talk about Alabama and some of the stats that they have. You know, I didn't want to sit here tonight for 2 hours with statistics. Everybody's seen that and doing that. That's why we did the little flashback thing. We've got some other things. We got more commentary by Troy LaBeouf and me about these coaches, about these players, these teams, the rematch thing. Another topic that has surfaced since Oklahoma State defeated Stanford in the Fiesta Bowl is, do they deserve a piece of the title? I've also been reading today, Troy, where there are some Associated Press voters that say if LSU loses a close game, they're still going to vote LSU #1 in the nation based on the body of work, to use that cliche, and the fact that, you know, they beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Anyway, it's going to do great things for people to talk about on KKAY 1590 AM and on the internet and on TV and with their friends at the office and their neighbors down the street. Going to be plenty to talk about. We've got a special treat for you as we roll to this next break. A member of the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, Debbie Traylor. She's got some singing for you to do into the next break. Then we'll come back, talk about Les Miles and Nick Saban.
It's amazing.